And we're live! Oh, I thought I grabbed the wrong chords. On a Friday Night Lights, I am the hostess with the mostest, the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, lightworker, starseed, earth angel, mystic, medium, psychic, witch. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm getting downloads like crazy. Yogi, guru, evangelist, North American Sybil, messenger of God, the first child of God. I am the Lilith reincarnated here on Friday. I told everyone in my last video and in my first video that I was going to try to pull out the Dark Night of the Soul in chapters and try to walk you through what you're about to go through. It was very clear that a lot of you are entering the Dark Night of the Soul. So I'm trying to put that together, and as I was trying to put it together, I started getting all these other downloads. Really? Alright, let's see. What is the Dark Night of the Soul? And it's actually, the saying is from a poem. We read about that the other night. It's a journey, dying to the flesh and waking up in the spirit. It's a long journey. I specialize in the shadow aspects of it. The shadow is highlighted by psychoanalyst Carl Jung. It's the aspects of you that are hidden. We go through and I do all the hard work with you to get you right with God. Really? Pretty much. That's what I do. As much as I'd like to go forward, I can't. I was trying to put it aside and trying to do something else, but I can't. Last night, in our shadow spread, we read about the ferryman. In one of our books, we read about him in two different cultures. And he had different names in different cultures. They always do. They make up their own names. They give it their own gods. Duh. That's why we got so many damn cards out here. It's the same god. Anyways, going back to it. One of them, his name was Cherion, and he was told to be the son of Nyx. I was like, oh shit. I was like, that was me in another life. I was like, oh shit. Let's talk about it real quick. As much as I wanted to put it away, I can't. Shadow figures cross the night, secrets shared, no need for fright. Within her arms now rest and heal. Those to trust, she will reveal. By the power of the dark goddess in me, protection in place. Blessed be. Alright, shh. You're giving away your secrets. It's all too easy to confide in someone you wish to trust, especially when you are feeling vulnerable. Remember that appearances can be deceptive. You would be wise to be watchful and to trust no one at this time. Dude, I just saw Pac do that. No one. You've seen Pac do that before? Whoosh. No one. Nyx calls to you across the night sky to find comfort and respite from she who is the mother of all creatures. She understands that you have endured a long, dark night of the soul and wishes to take you into her confidence. This sounds exactly like what you need at this time, but be warned, for Nyx knows that you too are good at clinging information from others to use for your own purpose. She will use all that you have revealed to her against you. So be mindful how you and who you share any particulars with. Be mindful of how and who you share any particulars with. This is an opportunity to rest, regroup, and journey deep within with Nyx as your guide. All right, foresight. Keep your cards close to your chest. Don't share your ideas with anyone at this time. You are a great listener and a natural counselor. Speak to someone you can trust. Retreat and get away from it all. Protect your work from the ambitions of others. Appearances can be deceptive. You know, they're all out to get you. Really? Yeah. I'm seeing that. Pac's explaining it. It was in a video, too. He made a lot of these I'm just seeing clips of him alive, you know? And he said, I wish somebody would have told me. Tupac, when you get out there, you know what I mean? They're going to get you. I wish somebody would have told me, and that's what he's trying to tell you. They're out to get you, bro. These are not your friends. Enemies are created by friends. Not strangers, bro. These are people that want to take your power, your creativity, your ingenuity, your whatever. They want to be you because you are more powerful than them. They want to put your fucking skin on, bro. It's lovely. Anyways, I mean, they're not your friends, bro. I told you this at the beginning of the week. You need to question what people's motives are for wanting to fuck with you. What do they really want? What do they get out of fucking with you? Because it's all about what they get. Know that. Nyx, revealed, the confider of Greek origin, the primordial goddess of the night. She is a figure of such exceptional power and beauty that is feared by Zeus himself, mother of all creatures of the night, including vampires, lichens, werewolves, etc. All can go to find comfort, respite, and bear their souls in confidence. That's me. I told you, it's like, oh yeah. It's like the priest of the night. Yeah. Just watch out for that. I mean, you know, I always feel like somebody's mine. They're just trying to be you. And that's, you know, I guess if you don't continue to grow and you leave a door open for them to get in, well, you know, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't fuck with people. I just don't fuck with people. And that's because of that. Because people are on some stupid ass, I want to be you type shit. They're on some weirdo shit, bro. The weirdest shit. Alright, let's get back. Let's get away from people for a minute. Alright, in the beginning of this book, this is my Bible. This is how I did it. This is how you do it. It's called Reclaim Your Dark Goddess, The Alchemy of Transformation by Flavia K. Peters. Those cards she made like years later or something. I don't know. I didn't find them until a couple years later. So I started reading this book, and this book, I thought, made me go through this journey, but all it did was walk me through what was already going on in my life, which was crazy. So it tells you about, we started to read about it, you know. I'm just going to jump into it. There's a lot to go on. So the lady tells you about her experience, and she really paints this unbelievable story of what it is, right? So listen. When I became a victim, the dark goddess ignored my tears, never once embracing me or telling me everything was okay. She battled with my melodramatic outbursts, so the drama queen was never plundered to. The guilt I suffered was a hungry, insatiable monster I found hard to release, and it ate away at me. The dark goddess, as it ate away at me, the dark goddess dismissed my turmoil. Eventually, I had no choice but to learn how not to react, not to be a victim or a drama queen, how not to feel guilty or jealous or any lower emotions that antagonized my dark journey. I had to become indifferent to the outcome of any situation, just like the Wheel of Fortune teaches. Stop. That's what that was my last card in our teaching earlier. We ended on the Wheel of Fortune. I saw it in the beginning of my shuffle, and it still came out. And see the hidden blessings within each. And then I just shared, it was when Jesus, and his name was Simon, you know what I mean, Peter. He told Peter to walk on the water. You know, he tells him, it's like, you know, through trials, you become stronger. At last the dawn appeared, and when I least expected it, of course, the lessons had been learned. I had been stripped of the very core of who I was, and slowly the dark goddess built me up piece by piece. I had walked through the darkness and emerged transformed into light, and I was now holding an energy in balance with knowing and wisdom. No longer am I paralyzed by any fears. I'm fully confident and strong in all that I do. I know exactly who I am. I walk the journey on my own, and with only the dark goddess as my difficult companion. But I made it through to a place. See, this is what they had, but I didn't. All these women, all these priestesses, all these practitioners, they had the vision of me. In all my forms, bro, the dark goddess, they had a dark goddess in them. They see me. It was me. Here comes Pac. Me against the world. I didn't see myself. I knew my story when I walked through these pages. But I didn't see an outside entity that was guiding me. It was always Kobe guiding me. And that was my Virgil. You know what I mean? Like Dante, guiding me through it. But I didn't have them. So you'll learn to see and know me, the dark goddess. In all my beautiful forms, you'll see me in your visions. But I didn't. I didn't have that because I wasn't imagining someone outside of me. I was discovering me inside of me. And that's where, like the priestess to the Morgan, bro, she sees all my flavors. The people that studied Kali, they see me in their dreams. I don't see me in those forms in my dreams. It's me. I am all of them. I see what I did as them, but I don't stand outside of them and look in the crowd at myself. I don't stand before Isis. I stand in the, when I'm back in Egypt, I am on top of the pyramid. As the Morgan, I am literally covered in blood running through the battlefield. As the Kali, you don't want to know. You know what I mean? As Kanyan, I'm literally, I don't see them. I don't have a relationship with them. Jesus, I see. I'm not Jesus. And I just kind of want to understand that as they relationship with the dark goddess. I am the dark goddess. And all of these that's why they called me the shapeshifter. I could take any form throughout all time. I just didn't take any form until since the 1700s. No. And I don't want to. I came for one more. I don't want to go back to a form. Just want to tell you that. It's like, they got to really know the dark goddesses. And when you really read about me, it's me. And it's a personal relationship that you'll have outside of yourself, but also with the person here on Earth. You know what I mean? It's very magical, to be honest, for you guys. But I didn't have that, you know what I mean? I didn't, meet the dark goddesses. No, I met myself. Alright, let's see. And that's what it said. Only the dark goddess is my difficult companion. But I made it through, and in a place in which only truth and reality can exist. This is my new playground. And that's what all of them that studied the goddesses will tell you. You know what I mean? We brought you to a place of truth. You can't say fearlessness. You know how to overcome the fear. I will never deny you your fear. If you are prepared to have your world crash all around you, to not even recognize who you are anymore as the old self dies to the new, you can re-emerge stronger and wiser into a whole new world. The Dark Goddess will show you the way, and even though you will feel isolated and abandoned, she will never leave your side. This has been the loneliest ride. It is just me and God. Me against what? Come on, Pop. Of course he's here under the dark night. I love you, Puck. In the essence, yeah, it's and people thought that I was lonely, but I just made a video about it, is your connection with the spirit, and that's what it is. You're going to connect with the dark goddesses and many of the gods before. You know what I mean? I just reconnected to myself and my family. In essence, that's what this is all about, a reconnection for me. But this is going to be something very powerful for you. And it's a spiritual awakening, you know what I mean? You're literally, it's hard. It's a hard time for you. It's going to be long and treacherous. I'll tell you that for sure. You'll feel isolated and abandoned. She will never leave your side. And that's what I shared. Peter said, please never leave me. Never leave me, Jesus. Never leave me. They never leave your side. People will leave you, dude. They will abandon you. They will forsake you. They will turn on you. But the Holy Spirit will not. Your soul urges you to call upon her, for your new life beckons and is waiting to be acknowledged fully. And as much as they're telling you about a dark goddess, this is what I do for you. I'm calling you to this. I'm calling you to face all these things. Yes, this is what I do. I am the walking, true dark goddess. All right, preparing to meet the dark goddess. Welcome to your initiation. If a dark shadow has fallen over you and there's no light to guide you, you are confronting the unknown and there's no path to follow. If chaos reigns and your mind longs for peace, if everything you've known, loved, or desired has been wiped from you like a, I don't know what that word is, artist sweeping black paint across a fresh picture, then you could very well be experiencing the dark night of the soul. What you are going through could be the ancient process of a rite of passage, a mechanism that will rid you of anything that is holding you back from your true potential. This transformation and change as you go through, from transformation and change as you go through I'm getting downloads. Hold on. Okay. That is very much not a useful vision. What do they show? A woman running through the jungle with a wolf. How long are you going to be out in this jungle? I don't know, Mowgli. But you're about to be raised by the wolves. You're about to take off that. You're going back to the... Yeah, don't make me say it. You're going to have a wolfman experience. Way to take his power! Whoop whoop! That's what I'd do around here. Anyways, okay, fine. Let's move on. I was like, that's not a useful vision. I mean, I guess it was. Just talk about it. Okay. Alright, anyways, let's get back into this. A mechanism that will rid you, blah, 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 transformation. As you go through it, life as you know it, as you once knew it, will disappear. It will no longer be in view, or in fact exist. But it is that old life, those old ways of doing things, and those relationships that were holding you back, even if you didn't realize it. They were comfortable, known, and acceptable, and it will take a crisis to move them on. But if you wish to overcome your difficulties in order to transform your dreams into reality and live the life you came here for, then move on they must. This is a time you need assistance and guidance from someone who has gone before you, someone who has trodden the hidden paths of no return, and who has walked through the dark forests and made it through the other side. I'm literally the only one. Why? Because I'm the dark goddess. Nobody else was going to get you through it. Truthfully, you might get through an ego death, but you're never going to become fully spiritual like me. Fully enlightened? I don't really fully know what's wrong with the guru and the Buddhist, the silo. I don't know why they don't know what I know. I don't know why they're not fully awake like I am. There's something. They're still stuck in their brain. They're still stuck in that skin, bro. They're spiritually enlightened, and they can do all these things, but they still got to come back and process it through their brain. They're still working through the brain. There's something there, Pinky, in the brain. In the essence, yeah. I can show you the way. My personal journey took me far beyond my comfort zone as I faced each of my fears one by one, living nightmare, and endured over a course of many years. Oh, fuck. How many years did it take her? Guys, this is real. Real. It took me 2 years. I mean, fuck. I don't know how long it took her. As I lost all whom I held dear, my own identity, my confidence, everything I knew, I considered leaving this mortal coil, for the process was too much to bear. In fact, I didn't even realize what it was I was actually experiencing at the time, as with most who are taken to the dark side. But had I wished for things to get better, for me to come into my own power, so that I would no longer feel I was a victim of circumstances, but rather master my own fate. Ask, and you shall receive. What I had not bargained for, however, was the process of eliminating all of the opposite of what I had intended for myself. Bro, that's exactly what happened to me. All I was trying to do... God... This is not how it was supposed to... What happened? I was trying to get my mind straight and my fucking, my life straight and not be so hateful. That's all I was trying to do. Get a guy, work on my music career, maybe make some new friends, figure out why I was such a bitch. No big deal, bro. This is not how this... I went out to make connections, not disconnect from the entire universe. Oh, man. I just want to point that out. Which meant a complete energetic overhaul of everything I was thus far. I hadn't realized that I would go through various long, drawn-out stages to get to where I wished to be. Each stage would become more horrific and terrifying as the process continued to strip me bare until I no longer recognized myself or my life as I once knew it. What happened to me? I was living in my car for the whole summer, in my own hometown, hiding from the world, dude. Oh, God. And proudly, too, motherfuckers. Proudly, too. Where am I currently? Well, I got out of my car, and now I'm in a homeless shelter, and I'm very happy about this. After I told God I would never do this again in my life. Oh, God. You serious? I'm so serious. You gave up your whole life to go to a... Yep. That's why people don't want to follow me, bro. They're terrified. They've watched me strip everything away from my entire identity, all sense of pride and dignity, bro. Every piece of value I had. And they stand there and say, you have nothing to show for your life. Whoa. Which will take it easy there. You have nothing to show for your life. Let God strip all that shit from you and you ain't shit. Yeah, bro. It is ugly. But that's what's so beautiful in those videos. Is I did it. As I was told, one layer, like the fucking onion, one layer at a time, bro. I was a pretty powerful, successful bitch. Now I'm unbelievable. I'm unlimited power. I'm pretty powerless in this. Yeah, bro. It was, oh, wow. Again, horrific and terrifying as the process continued to strip me bare until I could no longer recognize myself or the life I once knew. Something simple, dude. I went to get my nails done once and I used to always do that, you know, religiously, took care of myself like that. I went back to go get my nails done and I sat there and cried because I felt out of place. I felt like this wasn't my place anymore. Going back to shows, restaurants, people. I just left there crying. I didn't feel good there anymore. I wasn't welcomed. I didn't feel... It was terrible. Everything. Family, clothing. I changed my underwear. I always talk about that. It's really funny to me. Why? I don't know. It was a big decision. I had to get rid of all my underwear. I didn't have no underwear. It was a big decision. Really? Yeah. That was a big decision. I think. I stopped wearing... I mean, when I got to Oklahoma, I started a job. This is where I'm at today. I still got to do that tomorrow. I started a job. I didn't own a pair of pants or a pair of tennis shoes. I just changed to wearing dresses, completely covered like a gown, you know what I mean? Like a fucking priestess. I am very much a nun in that sense. I just talk a lot of shit. Fully dedicated is what I shared in my community page. Lots of, you know what I mean? I changed everything, and that's what I posted before I got on here. That it's like nobody would have fully guessed, nobody could have ever guessed that I would have gone like this. And they thought I was psycho, bro. They thought I was losing my mind. And in essence, I was. I was getting rid of everything that made me me. And they pitied me. And they humiliated me for doing it. And it was the most difficult thing to do. You know, that's what I said, is as hard as it was to face myself in these places, to come out of my sacred place inside of my heart and look at the world, you know what I mean, making fun of me for all the hard work I've done, shaming me for this hard journey that, you know, that it called for. It literally calls for you to strip everything. And they shamed me. And then, you know, they would take my teachings, just like today, like Wolfman, you know what I mean, take my hard work and effort and try to wear it as, you know what I mean, as some, you know, platinum selling song or t-shirt or fucking post. You know, Wolfman came out today and he said that, you know, to have a good relationship, you need to become that person, and you need to face this and face the mirror and do all this. This is a man that's chasing pussy, bro. He's not done any of this. He's not looking for a wife and children and success and, you know, none of that, bro. So how is he going to tell you? He's telling you my words. He's taking my pain, my suffering, my experience, and trying to make himself powerful. And that's what I mean as an example, is that people did through this whole stage. Down to Will Smith writing a song called The Dark Night of the Soul. You don't even know what it means, bro. But God's going to strip you, and you're going to find out. My hands are in prayer as I say this. It was like, that's what that documentary is, bro. Is the stripping of my flesh, bro. And me becoming the spirit. And this is what it's going to do to you. I can't tell you what you're going to come out as, but I promise you're going to come out as a tool of the divine. You're going to come out sharp if you make it out. I'm the only one I know that's gone all the way through it. I can't even tell you where they stopped and why they stopped and where they think they're going to go now that they've stopped. I don't know. I could not stop. because there was nowhere to go but keep going. Yet I stand here on the other side, knowing the journey was necessary and ultimately beneficial. I am now the person I always could have been, my true self. Such a prize does not come light, but it will come if you feel yourself about to take this journey, or are already grappling with its twists and turns, or feel unhappy with your life and want to change. That can only come with true transformation. Then this book will be your guiding light to help you find your way out of the darkness, shining the way to the dark goddess. She can help you navigate through your turmoil if you were willing to brave her fearsome friendship. On page 7. Who is the dark goddess? The dark goddess has existed since storytelling began. She's the goddess from the great void. She is without a name, and yet is every name. She is Baba Yaga, Kalik, the Morgan, Saradwin, and Maeve. That's what I didn't have. I don't think, maybe I did. So I was my Morgan. That was my last. Saradwin, Kalik, Baba Yaga. Where's Maeve? Queen Maeve. That's interesting. Fortuna needs to be in there. I was talking and I had so many, while I was talking I got the download of Neeks and I stopped pulling all of my cards. So I missed a bunch of them. There she is. And Maeve. That's you? All of them, bro. Promise. The more you know the stories, you know it's me. The concealed one bestows upon us a precious gift. We cannot know what is to come, so we must learn to trust the great mystery and step into the unknown with only her for unwelcome company. The active dark goddess, who represents many aspects of darker emotions, can be found all over the world. But in our dark night of the soul, it is the crone of winter, the divine hag of the north, who calls you to her side I'm getting all kinds of downloads of all of them. The crones are many, hold on. I'm just getting them all, they wanted me to just spit out all these names. The divine hag of the north, who calls you to her side when you accept an invitation to witness the loss of everything you once knew in return for transformation. It is she who presides over the long, bleak winter months, and it is she who calls through the harshness and disappointment, sorrow, envy, anger, and other lower emotions. You called me in, bro. This is hell on earth. It's all of this, lower emotions. You needed all forms of the dark goddess from all cultures to talk to all tongues to bring you all back. You didn't need just all gods, you needed all dark goddess. And that's what I show you, all of them. Now, this is where it starts. Why do we start with the crone? Because in the Hecate, the story of Hecate and how it works, the triple goddess, you have the maiden, the mother, the crone. The crone teaches you by age to accept death so that you can be reborn. It is the crone in your old age when you must accept the end. In the beginning, you're thinking about life. You know what I mean? But when you come to the end, you're accepting the end. You're not and a new life, a new experience. That's why it starts with the crone.
Why'd you have to put that on the top?
I don't know. The wintry dark goddess, based on Norse, Slavic, and Celtic mythologies, come with compelling stories and terrifying, complex characters. Right now, you will notice that Kalik, the energy of Kalik, is in the air. Why? It's cold, it's bitter, it's windy. The rain.
The way I like it.
Yep, just the way we like it, bro. I'm serious. I woke up today, it was the freaking sky was as dark as the darkest, bluest ocean, bro. It was beautiful. And the raindrops that fell were close enough to be hail, but they weren't. I was like, oh, this is Kalik.
Plastic.
Anyways.
In the microwave?
What? Yeah. Alright, so anyways, terrifying characters, for they were the basis of religion for the natural warriors of people of Scandinavia, Britain, Ireland, and the northern parts of Europe. Even today, their stories heavily influence movies, television, shows, games, have never lost their foothold in the deep conscious. After all, we were brought up by bedtime tales of the wicked stepmother and the evil queen, who of course are distortions of the dark goddess herself. As the winter solstice marks the longest night and the shortest days of the year, pagan traditions celebrate the sun's rebirth, and it slowly begins to lengthen the days and the months, leading into spring. The winter solstice is a time for change, when we acknowledge and honor the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. When did my awakening happen? Right after Labor Day of 2022, I dropped my first single. I started to wake up, dude, but by winter, it was done. Yeah, after I dropped my album, my full album was January 7th, and it was over by then. I was moved out of my house by April, dude. By spring, shit was fucking springing hard. And that's where we are. You know what I mean? May, flowers, all of that. Anyways, let's see. Winter solstice, shortest days, pagan traditions celebrate the sun's rebirth, begins, blah, blah, blah. It's time when hope is renewed like the trees of the season. We are stripped bare, naked, and vulnerable as the macabre presence of the crone shrouds us. The dark goddess was worshipped in conjunction with the phases of the moon, the waxing, full, and waning phases, which represent the three phases of the goddess as maiden, mother, and crone. Alright, the maiden. The moon phase is the waxing. That's what we're going through right now. We're building up to a full moon. Right? It's just become the crescent. We're building in. It's a building. Okay? By the full moon, and that's where we're being filled with energies and shit. Season is spring. The color is white. The festivals are Imbolc or Astara, spring equinox. Aspects are beauty, enchantment, inception, expansion, new beginnings, youth, excitement, virginal, innocence. The mother, and this is where you're building up to it, right? Is the moon phase is the full. Season is summer. The color is red. Festivals, we already had. Beltane. LILITH comes next. Summer solstice. Mabun. Autumn equinox. Right? All of this, we're in our full stages. The mother stage. And that's why you get that Queen of Wands. Aspects are ripeness, fertility, growth, fulfillment, stability, generosity, nutrients, or nurturance, and compassion. The crone. Alright, the moon phase is the waning, the dark, or the new. The season is the winter. Color is black. Festivals are Samhain, or Halloween, Yule, and winter solstice. The aspects are wisdom, repose, magic, destruction, decay, and death, on page 11. The crone is the least understood of the Trinity and often avoided or demised in modern retellings. She is seen as being wicked and the personification of death. It is the true it is true the crone has a fearful shadow side, a darkness companion. A darkness accompanies her. I'm seeing, they want me to show you, did I put them all up there? Yeah, Baba Yaga. But it just doesn't really show her as, yeah, doesn't really show her. Especially Baba Yaga, because that's one of the first stages is loss. Yeah, anyways, that's what I'm seeing. Let's see, through the long months, blah, blah, blah. Where was I? It is true, the crone has a fearful shadow side. A darkness accompanies her through the long winter nights and ultimately towards death. Yet the pagans knew the physical death was not the end, but rather an opportunity for rebirth and renewal, just as the trees and the grasses return after a desolate winter. The crone rules the north, for it is from there that she waves her icy wand towards everything that needs to die as she freezes out the past. And that's what Kalik does. She calls everyone into hibernation. Alright, it goes on and on about the dark goddesses, then the dark night of the soul. We read a little bit about this. We talked about the rites of passage, and that's where I stopped. Change, uncertainty, and difficulty are made bearable and easy through the rituals and rites. The ancients knew this. This book offers some healing rites and rituals for each stage of your journey that are designed to help you connect with your dark goddess guides and your own soul's purpose. You may think undertaking rituals is old-fashioned, primitive, and unnecessary, but everyone in modern society undertakes certain rites to mark important phases: graduations, bar mitzvahs, marriages, retirement parties, and no more than ancient rites. Okay? Let's move on. Dark Goddess will envelop you in her shouty cloak, blah, blah, blah. Change and transformation. The whole purpose of the dark night of the soul is to identify inner hurts, pains, fears, and worries that keep you from shining your true light. The Dark Goddess is supposed to expose that to you. I tell you that I am the Dark Goddess, and that's what I do with you every day. I take you into your pains, your hurts, my own, but yours especially. To reflect back, I take you into mine, and I shine this light back to you, so you can reflect on yours. I'm not a teacher of this. I am this. As you walk through and learn the lessons each stage offers, ridding yourself of all that no longer serves you, you take steps towards becoming the real you. The dark night of the soul can be inviting and deliberately with intention for transformation, as I did one fateful night unaware of what I was to face, or it can come about through asking or hoping for change, even if this is done through silent thoughts and secret wishes. You prayed for this, bro. You wished for it, you asked for it. It's coming. Cast your mind back to a time when you might have wished for change. This may have been wistful dreaming, reoccurring thoughts, or feelings, or an adamant decision. You may have desired new freedom, a sexier partner, to have children, or to be more attractive in appearance, a pay raise, a promotion, reconciliation, financial abundance, spiritual enchantment, or anything else that you felt you needed at the time. This was your invitation to the Dark Goddess to grant you the means for your wish. Connecting to fairy tales and myths. Let's see. We have struggled with darkness and feelings of anger, hurt, betrayal, jealousy, and fear. Stories have reflected our journey into the depths of the emotions for thousands of years. None more effectively or consistently as the humble fairy tale. The journey through the dark night of the soul is well known to us, even if we don't personally acknowledge it. It is the basis for almost every fairy tale and folklore fable, and for any story of transformation and adversity. These stories are inner truths that speak to you the true knowing of the ways of the darkness. Each magical story tells an important life lesson, and each one involves an ending of an old and a transformation of sorts. One of the most beloved fairy tales is Cinderella. Is a perfect recounting of a soul's transformation, having experienced a happy life until her mother died. Cinderella suffered at the hands of her stepmother, and from the cruelty of her wicked stepmother, until she was through a complete transformation, courtesy of her fairy godmother, and lived happily ever after. This is the typical of the dark night of the soul. After experiencing a great loss, the loss of her mother, which was the first stage of the dark night of the soul, Cinderella was in bondage to her evil stepmother and experienced many years in isolation and misery. Her hopes rose with the prospect of meeting a prince, and she took steps to prepare for change. Her fairy godmother turned up bearing the powerful transcendence. No. What many don't realize is that the Dark Goddess is the key to understanding this story. Both the stepmother and the fairy godmother are representations of the magical, powerful feminine who bring the gift of darkness, which is needed to appreciate the gift of light. The wicked stepmother's cruelty was the struggle Cinderella had to endure to find her true self, to go from a naive child to an adult. But even the seamlessly benevolent fairy godmother did not just give Cinderella her prince, but made her go through a trial of potential loss in order to appreciate the final triumph. From within the shadow side of the darkness awaits you, for it is she who is responsible for all your trials and your tribulations. It is she who hears your soul cry, who listens to your fears, doubts, and worries, and it is she who offers you the gift of living nightmare, so you can awaken in the light of new, transformative life. When you experience the dark night of the soul, you challenge your true self and allow yourself to encounter the genuine nature of divinity. I'm going to stop right there. It says, is the dark goddess calling you? It starts there. It starts right away by teaching you the wheel of the year. an invocation. Maybe I did invocate this bitch. Creating an altar. Very important. You see mine. When I started, it was just a box. I carried, I mean, it has grown. There's so much. This is just what I have here. I have not even brought my altar bag. The altar bag would take up a whole, I mean, Jesus. What's in it? It rotates by the seasons of the year. It rotates. All different things. Some things, you know what I mean? It always is rotating. But every kind of creepy tool you could think of. I have, as I call it, Professor Snape's closet with all of the herbs. I have candles for everything. I have little figurines and pictures, you know, emblems of some kind of form of spirituality that has a, you know, a power to it to me. Let me read this. Altars are like portals that give you direct access to a deity that you're inviting in, to protect and guide whatever ritual or intention you are working with. Whenever you look at your altar, you connect with the mystical energies it represents and a sacred energy the space contains. I didn't even know I was building altars. I just started stacking stuff up and making it real organized, like OCD-ish. But it was just a box, and the only thing that I had at my altar, the only picture, was this. I didn't know anything. I used to make jokes. I was like, I think Pac and Morgan have something going on.
Like romantically?
Yeah. I was like, because they were too close. Those were my closest guides. I didn't know. You know what I mean? More pictures came, I would get more cards, I would get more stones, oils, candles. In the beginning, it was a bunch of incense that I got from like the dollar store, sage, a couple of stones. When I first started, I had enormous, bro. It was all gifted to me. It was just, you know, I was just guided to get this stupid shit. An enormous selenite. I carried in my bra, a big old fat one under my boob. I carried rose quartz, and those were the first two for a long, long, long time. Really? Yeah, later I got my Morgan. You know, more of my stones started coming, right? These actually came from Chris's house. I didn't actually learn stones until I got into Chris's house, which was a crystalline grid. He had stones. He was a miner of stones. He taught me all about the stones and their powers, but he didn't know how to access them. So when I got in there, the first day, I'll show you, that's in his house. That's his Buddha. I lined up the stones. That's when I aligned. When I aligned the stones, that's when I got aligned with the Lumerians, because I had an Atlantic clear quartz crystal, and then he showed me this enormous Lumerian clear quartz, and that was right at the time that they aligned during that year. It was 2023. There was a convergence of the energy, and so that's when I got into crystals and stuff. The herbs, little by little, throughout my books and stuff, I would learn. You know, I got herbal guides and stuff. All of my books, dude, all of them will tell you. All of my healing books will tell you how to use spells, herbs, and oils and stones. Every single book will tell you. My first book was, let me get it out of here. We went through this in Oklahoma. My first stages of healing was, I had this book, but we wouldn't read it every day. We would only read it on pages. It would be real intense, and we'd get stuck in these chapters dude, I don't think I finished the book for like a year and a half. And even then, I didn't actually finish the last pages. I just did that. I was like,
the Bible?
Oh, no, that book. Hold on, I'm looking for... Where is that book gone? I have so many. I started with this one. I didn't even have these. I had this book and this. I started with this. This is huge chapters. Huge chapters of fucking healing, dude. Huge chapters of healing. We were doing lessons of these in Oklahoma, right? And each of them, right, they're chapters. It would have, you know, this one's about the sun. So there you go. It would have a spell, right? Tell you how to get what you needed. So this one's a citrine, a carnelian. The citrine I always carry. This is where I keep my stuff. Here's my citrine. This is my rose quartz. This is jade. These are, you know, all of them. This is the happy family, the sun god, Mary Magdalene, all of that. All right, so it teaches you this stuff, right? It teaches you lemon essential oils, sweet orange oils, peppermints, all of this stuff. Each of them taught you mirror magic, you know, so we learned all this shit super early. Here, a spell for patience. You'll need your favorite incense, a glass of water, a candle. We started practicing all of these in the beginning. I say it's safe. I never told you not to do these because we did these from the very beginning. Every one, piece by piece. a spell to shine your light. You'll need a citrine, an orange calcite, or a carnelian. That's why I always tell you, you need a fucking citrine for everything. And then I have all of my different candles. This is where we were last time, bonding with nature, right? Always need to bond with nature. Setting boundaries. That's what you really need to do, people fucking pleaser. A spell to freeze an issue. Freezing spells. We learned all kinds of shit in the beginning. Fucking energy vampires. Psychic vampires. Those are people who drain you dry energetically. Get the fuck off me. You know what I mean? There was always journal work in here. Every bit of this took journal work. These were chapters honoring your grief, dude. You know what I mean? Through trials and tribulations, trials and changes. Being kind to yourself and to others. We learned basics, bro. I'm gonna, and that's why it's like, I've got everything to teach you to get through it. But something like this. So, like, the magic, you learn it along the way. You know what I mean? It's part of this journey. You don't have to learn magic separately. It's part of just learning how to, wake up. All right, let me see if I can get all this together. I made a big old mess. Oh my god, I got cards falling and books and shit everywhere. I don't like when that happens. I always naive. Anyways, so my altar wasn't nothing to begin with. I can show you all the different pictures throughout time. I just started putting shit up. But now I have so much shit. And you saw where all this shit comes from. Where did it all come from? I can literally walk you through it. The oils are old. The candles I just got. You know what I mean? The egg we just got. Those flowers were part of the Easter plant that they made me buy. The Easter lily. Those are actually from my first awakening. Do you know what I mean? Behind there, each of these things, they're passed on and they get put on. But they're not always going to be the same. You'll constantly see me rotate my altar because we're rotating it with the energy that's coming in. We're putting new offerings and shit. Now, let's get back to the beginning of yours. After we took all those pictures down and shit. Okay. Whenever you look at your altar, you connect with the mystical energies it represents and the sacred energy and that the space contains. I had simple things like, I don't know, like I have pictures of them. I'll show you. But I definitely always had, and that's when I bought my Ouija. My Ouija would always be in the back. I can show you at Chris's. I had a big old one, and it had the fucking crystal ball, and then sometimes it had the cauldron, and then sometimes it has, I got all that fucking crazy shit, bro. You're like, seriously? Yeah, bro, what do you think is taking up my whole trunk? What's all the junk in the trunk? Magical shit. Magical shit, bro. Much magical shit. Like, how did you do this with no job? I know, right? People thought I was selling my feet or something. I should have tried if it was going to make me enough money. No, God would give me money just to buy magical shit. And they didn't appreciate that, I just want to point out. But now look at me. I'm the most magical bitch with all the magical shit. Alright, whenever you look at your altar, you connect with the mystical energies it represents. An altar doesn't have to be anything grand, so don't worry if you don't have much in the room. It can be a tablecloth. It can be a table with a cloth on it in a quiet corner or a mantle, a window seal, or a shelf. And that's what it was in Mr. Plum's. It was literally just a window seal. He had this little magazine, one of those little magazine trays that had and I just used that. It was so tiny. It didn't matter as long as I could access, you know what I mean? And it needed to be a small space. We only had small spaces. That's why my altar, when I didn't have an altar to set up, it's set up in my car, and that's why I never take that one down. I have an altar open everywhere I go. You know what I mean? Seriously. And then so what it is like I would just, when I lived in my car, I would just grab what I could and open up and set up a little bit of, what I could in front to do a reading, a little something, but it doesn't have to be anything. Let's see. A window seal or a shelf. It doesn't matter as long as you set the right intentions of dedication to the Dark Goddess, of honoring her as your journey with you through the dark night of the soul. And again, my first card was Morgan. Since the beginning, I got these were the Goddess Blessed. My first cards. They read as tarot. You can read them as tarot. I was just guided to put that picture up every single time. I didn't know who Morgan was until a year and a half later, and I knew, you know what I mean? I keep trying to go back into my last life, but I can't. I got to relive these other lives first. But it just always was there, always. That card, always, bro. But as I opened up, you know what I mean, my Akashic records, more of them had to come out. I had to honor more of me. But then you'll see, you know what I mean, when Famanach was up there, you'll see in the other pictures. I'm going to post them all again. I posted them yesterday in my community page. In my community page, I will repost the pictures of my altars. And then you had to put up there, like when we were going through hell, I had to put up, pomegranate. Each of them are different. You honor them all differently. So that's why the rotation is looking different. You know what I mean? During Christmas time, there's different things at the altar than there is during, the middle of the year. It's just how it works. Let's see. You may wish to add crystals, incense cones. Yeah, I used a lot of incense in the beginning. That's all I used. A figurine or representation of the moon or anything else you would like to create. A sacred threshold to the dark goddess to emerge into your life. Part 2 of this book contains information about what is appropriate for each specific goddess. But as you begin, ensure you include the fundamentals. A pentagram for protection, and it represents the 5 basic elements of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. Since the beginning, I had gotten this necklace. I wear it almost all the time. I'll wear it in the pools. I wear it. I went to the baptisms. I have to wash it a lot. It's not the prettiest, but there's my pentagram. Since the very beginning, I have wore this, and it wears around my neck. It's one of the creepiest things that people, but I am the oracle. If you see right there, it's not just the pentagram, but it also shows that I am the oracle, and it shows my triple moon goddess, right? It shows the 3 phases of the moon. It shows more than, it's a full representation. But that's what all of these are, mainly. Back to my charms and stuff. Identifying, I got to wear my badge, is what that means. That's what I said. I got to wear my badge. So right now, I'm currently, when I leave the house, not go outside. I wear just this one outside. But when I dropped one. For right now, when I currently go outside, and you'll hear me when I'm, haven't took them off, this is what I currently wear. All of those, yeah. Do you want to know all the meanings? I mean, seriously, it's just a representation, you know what I mean? I've got the Eye of Horus. This one right here shows that I am, you can't see it. This one shows my High Priestess. This one was given to me up at Chief Hosa. This is my healer. This was my most recent. I just got a week ago for the sun. All of them have, you know what I mean? It's an identifying factor. It's wearing my badge to whoever recognizes that badge. It's not really, you know what I mean? I guess in the beginning, it felt like protection. I thought they were protecting me, I guess. Now looking back. Oops, sorry. Let's keep going. Let's see. An altar cloth to harness the power of the color by choosing a deep purple cloth to enhance wisdom and psychic works, or black for protection. As you've seen, I changed mine to whole bright-ass fucking colors. I change my cloths as much as I want when I have to. And so I do have that one. The one that was under there is an enormous tapestry that has the chakra system, and it has all of the Hindu, fucking symbolisms and stuff on it. That was the one that was underneath. But yeah, I usually put something underneath my shit. Elements. Representing 4 basic elements is the 5th and the spirit. The season of direction to ensure the balance in all aspects of nature. Place items on your dark goddess altar to connect with the elements such as black tourmaline, jet, or black obsidian. Onyx crystals will represent earth. I told you my first one was a black obsidian that I purchased. It's a little crow. Where is it? It's in my purse. I always say that. Oh, my purse is nearby. I have a whole stone bag that I keep in my purse. But before I kept it in my purse, you guys, it stayed in my bra always. Most of them are broken because I'll take off my bra and bam, they fall to the ground and just, it happened. So when I show you my crow, that's what happened.
What, your boobs?
Yeah, I keep all of these. I had a different little bag that I would keep them in my bra with me. I have enormous boobs, guys. So I just tucked them under my boob. I may have trafficked drugs that way too in the past. Alright, so I'm taking them all out here for you. This was it. It had a full head to begin with when it started, but as you see, I dropped them. This is a selenite. I had a big fat one, dude. Again, big fat one. Here's my my rose quartz. I just got this one. Fuck, I forgot what he said it was. It's in my, I wrote it down. It's a jasper, something jasper. I do have a carnelian and a jasper. I always get them confused though, as to which is which. I don't really know. But I got those. This is a representation of my crystal ball. It's just a little marble. I have an aquamarine, or no, I don't know what that is. It's a fluorite. Fluorite. Amethyst. And then, there's more of them. I'm not getting into all of these, but definitely you start with that one. That's what I started with. You'll see it too in my altars. Pay attention to the pictures of my altars because I didn't always have those. I used to set up all of my stones right there. I didn't always have the Lumerian clear quartz crystals. Those are for shadow work, bro. Those are for shadow work. But, you know, I always had lapis lazuli and tiger eye. Those I always had in one form or another. I just got this bag like last month and put them in here, and now I keep them in my purse instead of in the other bag I had that kept them in my bra. Like, seriously? Oh, yeah, bro. Seriously. Why? Keep it right next to my heart. It's channeling power. I went into this yesterday. God made the universe, and then he made the earth. He put all the power of the universe into the earth. Those are called moonstones, right? They're accessing power of the universe through the stones, the elements that are here. I am Lilith. I am made of the dirt. All the power of the universe that was in the dirt, he made of me, and I harnessed all that shit in my being from the day I was born. All right, what else do you need? Let's see. Incense such as myrrh, frankincense, cinnamon, dragon's blood to represent air. Okay, all of those are in my car, the myrrh and the frankincense. The cinnamon is in a jar. Where is it? It's up here with my feathers. There's a cinnamon stick in there. Somewhere in there. See it in there? Where the fuck is that thing? It is in here, right? It's in there, I promise. It's floating on the bottom. It's in there. There's a cinnamon stick. What else is in there? Lavender and shit. We went through a stage where we needed some lavender to calm us down. There's all kinds of shit up here. Trust me, I'm moving incenses, I'm moving candles, all kinds of stuff. Oils, all that shit. Let's see. A chalice or a goblet with wine or spring water to represent water. Okay, those are hidden back here. I just brought those in, but I do have a chalice. It's actually, that's in my ritual bag. These I just got from last full moon. I smuggled them. I went to do a baptism in the the Indian hot springs, and I smuggled these out. How'd you do that? I put them in my bra. I told you I have big old boobies. So I stuck these in underneath my tits, and I went in, and then I just opened them and filled them up. These are actually from the earth, dude. This is from the healing waters. I stole them. How many? Well, I stole those two, and then as I was leaving the stream that was running down it through Idaho Springs, the stream, I took that water too. Really? Yeah. These are just some of them. I have holy water and then I have that mirror. Remember I bought this mirror and then I charged it under the full moon. Deadly. I have a couple of charged moons, lots of different waters from different full moons. What do you do with all that? Well, I mean, later we can travel back in time and just pour the water and you can tap back into these years, but we can use it for other stuff too. And then I have, you know, a whole chalice of Mother Cabrini's water. I have a big old one in my car. I have lots of water. The living water. What else do we need? Spring water to represent water. Candles to represent fire. Specifically black candles to represent the darkness. I have one black candle usually ever. One at a time. I don't make me pull out my black candle. In the essence is I'm breaking out the darkness with the black. I don't usually play with the black candles. I'm more about the white candles and the blue. White for, you know what I mean, for purification and blue for healing. A lot of those. I need you a sandalwood. I thought I had a sandalwood candle that I kept burning forever, but it was actually an amber wood, but still. Candles also work well to represent the elements, seasons, and directions. Placing the candle on your altar as follows. You can follow all this bullshit if you want to. You don't have to. I'm not going to read it. Blah, 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 blah. Rituals for honoring the dark goddess. Blah, 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 blah. Journal work. Peace through protection. They teach you right away to work on some protection spells. Right away. Staying grounded is rule number 1. Before partaking in any spiritual work, being in meditation, invocation, or any form, you must ground yourself. This is done so you are anchored within your body and you are kept connected to the earthly realm. And that's where you have to brace yourself. You have to pull yourself down as you can feel yourself lifting away. You can feel yourself being pulled in the darkness. You have to ground yourself. It's all about bringing yourself back to zero. Come back to life, dude. Come back. You're deep in your feelings. You're deep in your thoughts. Come back. Come back to the moment. Come back to now. Come back to now. Where are you? And that's it. My son right now, he is deep in his mind somewhere. In a game he's been playing, he is somewhere in la 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 land. If I try to talk to him right now and say, hey, something, he's not going to give me hardly any of his attention. It'll take a couple minutes for him to ground out of the digital world and be right here. Hey, I'm talking to you. Hey, can you hear me? Are you here? Hello? And that's it too. You can see a person. They are drifting in the astral realms, bro. They are not even there. The lights are on, but you know what I mean? But nobody's home. Hey, come back to life. Where were you? What were you thinking about? Nothing. Oh, yeah, you fucking liar. At least you're back here now. Back to the real world. It's very important. You get lost out there. You get lost in your feelings. You get lost in your emotions. You get lost in your freaking visions. You get lost in the past. You get lost in the ideas of a future. You get lost. You can lose yourself. At this stage of the journey, a little grounding and protection will serve you well. It won't necessarily keep all the changes that are required for you to move forward from happening, but it will protect and empower you to face them. It's about self-care and taking responsibility for yourself to preserve your sensitive nature and minimize the pain of loss or whatever it is you experience at the first stage of your dark night of the soul. All of this starts, they're teaching you how to prepare for it. Starts with casting a circle. Do I do that? No. Why? Because I'm a bubble. I taught my kids in the beginning how to bubble themselves, but I don't cast a circle. I'm just quiet. I wouldn't fault you for doing such things, but in the essence, this is what I taught you to do, that you were taught by the Dark Goddess to do to protect yourself. Meaning, if I'm going to take you in there, you need to put this on. It's how it was taught to humans. So, even though I don't do it, I'm pretty positive that every single fucking witch and warlock, it's in every one of my books, bro, they all do it before they do this type of work. I do circles. I can tell you that a lot of my rituals are in circles. God will drive me in circles. He'll take me to places that are in a circle. I'll do a smoke burn. You know what I mean? When I clean Denver, I hit the freeways in a huge circle, going all the way around all of the circles. 470 all the way around. That's too much if you're paying the toll. But 470 to I-25 to 225 to I-70 back on over, all the way around. You know what I mean? It's circles. I know that circles are a big thing. I personally don't, in this thing that's right here, when I pull it out, I have to pull it out in order to shove my phone in it. Whoa. Right? This is it. I shove my phone in this. This is how I post my phone, right? I shove my phone in this to hold it up straight, right? When we're doing regular upright videos. Inside of it, you see that? That's salt. That's kosher salt. Where did that come from? It actually came in the bag when they gave me my Morgan. They put salt in it to clean it. So I brought salt and I kept it in a separate bag. Most spiritual stores will do it. I didn't buy my own salt, but it's always near. I just never use it for, like, I don't visually do it. But there's salt always right here. So, you know, I'm just telling you that. Salt is an old age and effective form of protection that witches and magical practitioners alike swear by. It naturally absorbs psychic energy that you might unwittingly receive. By sprinkling it around you in a circle, across the thresholds or perimeters of your dwelling, or wearing it in a pocket or pouch will ensure you are shielded. See? And that's it. I have it in a pouch. As your sensitivity increases. Likewise, sea salt bath will absorb negative energies. And that's it too. My baptisms, I love the bath salts. I do not fill it up with 2 cups of fucking salt like they say. I put 2 little handfuls and they're great. I love them. Dr. Teal's sea salt, bro, I might get in the car and go buy some right now. I love that shit, bro. And that absorbs negative energy that if you've been under attack, and will also revive your spirit. I teach you a lot about baptisms. If there's something more that I practice, is between fire and water. I can teach you both of those mostly. A lot. How many baths did I take yesterday? I think 3 or 4. How many did you take? She had to take at least 2 or 3 because she wasn't feeling well. Well, I teach you that, how to clean off your energy through water. It's just a great feel. You know what I mean? That's what I was teaching her. I was like, no, you sit in it and soak in it, and then you drain it, and then you wash yourself. You don't just sit in that. That's gross. I mean, it absorbs all your energy, but you got to let that out and then wash yourself off, for those that don't know how to take a bath. All right, protection spell. Starts off right away, you know what I mean? On page 33. I'm not going to go through it, and that's when you start the journey. Let's see, the Dark Goddess revealed. The first one is Gaia. The initiation of the start of the journey. Safe within a safe-made tomb. Turmoil birth from seated womb. Primordial mother, monarch, balance. Do you choose light or dark? So it's from Greek origin. Gaia. The goddess would be Demeter, Terra, or Pachamama. Symbols are soil, fruit, grains, animals, trees, wood, and plants. Themes are abundance, gratitude, nature, fertility, feasting, providence, sustenance, and the earth. Now, mind you, our first stages are about grounding, our foundations. So naturally, you go with Gaia. Colors are green, brown, and tan. Okay, now, if you go back to my Archangels of the Fire Oracle, the first one is the black, but then we go into what? The Russell Brown. You know what I mean? So you're going into greens, browns, and tans. Crystals is a period, a smoky quartz. I have all of these in here. Where did I hide you? Oh, behind that. There's more, tons more. There's my hagstone. There's another, dude, they're all in there, bro. I'm thinking smoky quartz. You'll need that for Cali. You'll need that for so many, to be honest. You can't really fuck around with the Dark Goddess without a smoky quartz. I'm trying to figure out which one it is in here. Whatever, just know it's in there. I promise. You're like, damn, what is all that shit? Dude, they just, trust me. Trust me, you'll get to it. Oh, that's it. That's the smoky quartz right there on top. Amber, zircon, agonite, agate, geodes, and black tourmaline. Herbs and flowers and oils are honeysuckle, cypress, jasmine, gardenia, and rose. The moon phases is the new, the full, and the dark. Seasons are all 4 seasons. Trees are all trees, but particularly the ash tree. The festival date is Earth Day, April 22nd. So that's how you know when they're in their seasons. As you start going through them, I'm just going to walk you through the stages now. I told you this was all I was going to do, but I went and did too much. So once you start going through it, you'll learn her story, the message, seeking her, comparisons, why you would work with her, preparing for her, honoring to connect with her, altar offerings and stuff like that. That would be a basket of fruit, loaf of bread, scattered at the home vegetables, earth from a sacred site or garden, a vase of flowers, a stick of sage, crystals, black, brown, or green candles, barley, and honey cakes. A green candle, a small jug of milk, a sprig of jolly, cypress incense. Oh, this is for an invocation. I guess we did do a bunch of invocating spirits into us. Gaia will leave you clues for her presence, such as you craving being out in nature, your emotions becoming turbulent, all weathers excite you, you dance barefoot on the grass, you caught the eye of a storm, you recognize and embrace the seasons, you jagged-toothed sickle presents itself, you feel more grounded and secure, you have an overwhelming desire to get your hands dirty. You're attracted to work with crystals. Your maternal and nurturing qualities support others. You embrace your feminine curves. Ancient Greek, including stories of the Iliad, fascinate you. I don't know if I said that right. It's Iliad. I don't know. You are compelled to pick up litter from the countryside. You find that balance is vital to your well-being. And then they have exercises and rituals, journal work, earth healing, to go with them. So after her, it comes right away, dude. And that's where you guys are. Where are you, bitch? I hated this stage. I really did. It lasted forever, bro. Like all summer into winter almost. Fortuna. That's the Wheel of Fortune. That's fate. I hated it. I was like, this game show sucks. I keep losing. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know that I was playing a losing game. That it was all about losing. I really hated this stage. I mean, don't worry, it gets worse. Alright, Roman, Fortuna, Fortune, Lady Luck. Damn, Fortune. The symbols are the Wheel of Fortune, Cornucopia, Lucky Charms. Time, movement, change, unexpected change and loss, indifference to outcomes. Green, gold, silver, citrine, clear quartz, green, aventurine. The jade plant, lavender, lemongrass, bergamot. Fool and dark moon, summer and winter. Money tree, June 11th. Oh my gosh, Becky, that's when the full moon is. That's the full moon in Sagittarius when we're supposed to be taking an adventure. I don't know if I can. I have to start a new job, but that's okay. That's an adventure for me, bro. In essence. Also the 24th of June. This is great. This is I told you we were in this bullshit. I pulled her card today. It's not fun. She's gonna teach you to fucking play games that you're gonna lose. Really? So you can just accept loss. That's what Baba Yaga is supposed to teach you, but she comes after to really fucking run you through it, bro. I bet you Baba Yaga comes next. Let me see. Told you. Fucking bitch. Fucking bitch. They're just playing games with you, bro. Fucking Kobe. Playing games. Meaning what? Testing you. It's not about winning. It's about indifference. It's about playing just to play. Kobe, right? It's bullshit. Then comes Baba Yaga, who teaches you the initiation of self-sufficiency. That's Kali. And it just gets worse. Why? Because they just... what do you think? How do you think you learn to overcome loss? You lose everything! Oh my god. So painful. They gave her a pretty looking picture, but that's not really how it goes down. Baba Yaga is terrifying. Anyways, self-sufficiency, honoring your old age and older generations. Red, white, and black. Bloodstone, garnet, tourmaline, smoky quartz. Told you. I hate patchouli. Sandalwood is not too much better. It's pretty gross too. Germanim. Waning and dark moon phases, autumn and winter. Birch, January 10th. That's my brother's birthday. That's funny. That's funny. Alright, let's move on. What happens after Baba Yaga? Oh, shit. After you get through the loss, then comes Famanach. This is so funny. This is where I know for sure I lost Russ. I don't think it ever came out of there. I always say it was between these two stages. What two stages? Where you at, Famanach, you bitch? Russ, the bitch. I lost him between these two stages. Famanach to hell. Envy to concealment. Get in there. Famanach is all about jealousy and envy, obsession, his inner child, guilt, shame, revenge. He didn't learn the transformation, the scrying, or the storms. Knee-jerking reactions, which is triggers, outbursts, control, and revenge. The green aventine or blue calcite, that's in my other bag. Bergamot, majorum, yellow hyacinths. The waning and dark moon, ash tree, and on a Sunday, and it's Hera. So anyways, we got him in all his jealousies and envies and insecurities, right, is where we lost him. We triggered him into there, and then he went straight into hell and never came out. Initiation of isolation and denial. He's in full denial. And that would be Mama Bridge. That's me here, too. That comes next. Santa Muerte. Dark magic, compassion, death, reincarnation, rule, denial, secrecy, and necromancy. Acceptance, honor, and patience. The black agate, obsidian, jet, or onyx. It happens every Saturday. You go to hell. Spring and winter, the elder tree. The herbs is mirror. So yeah, I lost him over there. I don't know what his fucking deal is and why he can't just face his own hells. Because he's all concealing all his... He's lying. He won't tell you the truth. It only gets worse after that, and this is where I got fucked up real bad. And I've been stuck in this stage for fucking ever, bro. This stage, oh man, I've been in this stage forever. What is this about? Reclaiming your sexuality? Womb, vulva, openings, carved stone, fertility figures. Fertility, sexuality, protection, birth, feminine power, feminine mysteries, inner critic, silence, the great void, and the mysteries. The lessons are choices, decisions, and reverence. Again, a black onyx or a hematite. Colors are black, clary, sage, and rose. Waning and dark, autumn and winter, Yule, March 8th. Yeah, this is a shit ass one. I always get stuck in that. That's why I always hear my fucking dick sucking fucking confessions all the time. I always got to go back to my sexual traumas. This is a stage I'm always in. It's annoying. Then what comes after that? Well, after you deal with a lot of those fucked up stages, here comes Ceridwen with inspiration. The cauldron. Let's see. And that's Aaron Hood, Diana, Blue Druid, and the Grail Goddess. What do we learn here? Regeneration, shapeshifting, rebirth, transformation, magic, poetry, music, prophecy, knowledge, inspiration, and hope. And that's the bridge, bro. You're going to learn all that from me. Unity, self-worth, black, purple, and silver. The moonstone, and a carnelian. Mugwort, bergamot, vervain, cowslip. And that's how I have all this shit. Dark, new, some Sahame and winter. The tree is the apple tree. The festival day is October 21st. Alright, after Ceridwen. God damn, that's a long one. It really is. Comes Maeve. Gives you the willpower to fight. You're going to have to fight for your right. Determination. Alright. Ginseng, Ling Ling, Jasmine, Hawthorn Tree, Beltane, and Maboon. And that's where it is. We'll be, we have Litha, and then we go into Maboon. Cersei, mead, honey, bulls, fairies. There's at my altar in my car, there is some spicy honey that sits at the altar there. I always keep honey in there for her. Sexuality, leadership, preparation, strategy, making plans, deviousness, adaptation, determination, and justice. This is about balance and self-honor and drive. And it just keeps going. Who comes after that? Me, the Morgan. The Morgan. Initiation of battle and sovereignty. What do I teach you? Battle, life and death, warrior, blood, boundaries, power, prophecy, magic, forge, shape-shifting, sorcery, the enemy within, the antagonizer, victory, success, and sovereignty. That's me. Personal boundaries, claiming your sovereignty and taking control. Bloodstone, obsidian, ruby, garnet, moonstone, dragon's blood, belladonna, red clover, rosemary. I put a lot of rosemary in my shit. I do have clovers, though typically I put them in. Belladonna you can't find. It's illegal. I tried looking for it. They looked at me crazy. Dragon's blood I don't mess with too much, but it's a deadly one. Blackthorn, Sahame, autumn, winter, blah, blah, blah. The dark, the waning, and the new moon. After Morgan, bum, 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 you have the Khalik, which is Kobe, comes to test you. Where's Khalik? Fucking Khalik. That's what I said. We're in a Khalik right now. We're right in between fortune and standing stones. And that's what that was, the hex stone. Million that one hurdle they had a stone and this one or something. That's what they say a hex stone. What's a hex stone? Oh, it's in there. Here, Amelia, look. It has the holes, and if you look through the holes, you see into the other world. Here's I have my own. I had to get the hex stone for Khalik. Oh, see, she made one for it because she made one from Coraline. I was like, oh, it's a hex stone. It creeps me out. I haven't made it all the way through it. I tried to watch, what was it, yesterday? The second one? I don't remember, but I couldn't watch it. I know it ends terribly. I don't really want to watch it. Thistle, heather, gorse, the dark moon phase, autumn, winter, Scots pine. That's part of the journey. Oh, we got disconnected. Dang, I don't know how long we were disconnected. I just saw it say live. Khalik is, the sticks and stones that, you know what I mean, that forge you into the hardness. Now, at the very end of the journey is Artemisia. Initiation of truth and integrity. Let's see. Healing, truth, integrity, revealing the light, sacred space, silence, retreat, explosion, secrets, hidden truth, shattering illusions, transformation, reawakening the soul, integrity and wisdom, responsibility and integrity, purple and green, amethyst, aprophyllite, lapis lazuli, frankincense, lavender, purple iris, new and waxing, maboon in winter, the silver birch, buxtings, well dressing, July 5th. Well, that's wonderful. There's a lot of energy that's happening right then. I remembered reading it in my Sabbath that there's a lot of energy for July. Interesting. That's the weekend because my kids come back or something like that. I don't remember. That's interesting. She's the last stage of it where you walk out. And then there's this last part that I didn't really get to read. It was chapter 15, the Goddess Awakening, where you kind of, you know, they say goodbye. You walk out together into the big world. It's in this book, but it's in all of my books. But this was, you know, it's my Bible. It was the best way to describe what was happening. I made a huge mess. There's cards and shit all over the place. Well, at least I got the story across to you. That's what you're going to find in there, guys. That's what my documentary is about taking this journey. If you do, make sure you document it. That would be your book of shadows or your grimoire to pass on to your children, to tell them how you did this. I didn't know why I was telling everybody everything, but it's because I was doing something that only the ancients had done before, and they needed to see how it was done. And what's crazy is the people that watched me do it on a day-to-day basis. It wasn't nice how they treated me, and they didn't understand, and I forgive them for it because it did look really creepy on the outside. I felt like they understood because they were walking with me through the teachings too, I thought. But they weren't paying attention, they weren't listening. They were watching, but they weren't paying attention. So, I mean, in the end, what's the hardest part about this? Saying goodbye. You're going to do it every weekend. You have to say goodbye to something, someone. And that's what I try to teach you. This is all about letting go, stripping yourself. One by one, you have to do it. I mean, you can wait and let God do it. It's far more painful when you're sitting there. You feel far more empowered when you're part of this destruction. And that's the difference, as you can see in my videos. God didn't take shit. He told me to do it, and I did it. And they thought I was crazy because he asked me to sacrifice such things. I don't know what voice is talking to you. Well, I think the devil would want more than my fucking weenie sacrifices. In the essence, they chose not to want to understand what they knew was really being asked of me. And that's why I am the high priestess, because when God calls, you know, and that's why I cried so hard at the end of that movie, the Sister Act. I will follow him. And I tell you guys that if he wakes me up in the middle of the night, my kids know the drill, bro. We do what God says no matter when, no matter where, no matter how. There isn't an ocean too deep. And he would take me to impossible places, bro. Absolute failure. Just so he could show me how strong I had become. And that was that moment I cried that I shared about Jesus. It's like, I will test you to show you how strong you can really become. You know what I mean? It's like, it's part of it. And that's why, you know, I've done my part. I went through the rites and the passages to become this. And I'm here to guide you through the storm of what it takes. But I can't, you know, you're never going to become this without taking these steps. There's no way. And that's why I'm the only one. Because it's not that I am the only one to know the way. It's the only one to take it so literal and follow it all the way. And that's where people look at the Bible. They're like, you're not supposed to take it that literal. Really? It was a literal teaching. He put his life on the line for it. He said this is what we were literally supposed to do. I don't understand why it's not literal. No, that's not what that means. It's exactly what it means. You're not listening, bro. And so that's where it is there was a lot, you know, if you ask me what the hardest part was, is looking up at the world and their shame towards me. When I was so proud of what I wasn't proud, it was very humiliating. You know, going back to Bobby, like, are you homeless? Oh, God. Yeah, motherfucker, I left my house 2 years ago. You watched me. When'd you stop watching, bro? You watched me give up everything. What are you talking about now? And in essence, you know, maybe his pride couldn't, but he knew that even if he couldn't understand it, he knew I was doing it for God. And that should have been enough for everyone. I never said I was doing it for fucking the devil or anything, bro. I said I was doing what God told me to do, and they did not like that. But now look at, down to Michaela, that was great. Did I tell you what happened, Amelia? I had a vision of Michaela this morning pregnant, so I sent her the message, and she sent me a message back. She said she had a dream of that 2 days ago, that she was pregnant. I was like, all that was confirmation. I didn't need your confirmation to know you're about to be pregnant, bitch. I didn't need to. I know my visions. I know what God shows me. I know it. But, and that's beyond your understanding. And that's what Jesus kept telling you. This is beyond your understanding. You can't understand. You must walk in blind faith. You will understand later. You have many questions, yes. But you can't have the answers. The answers come later with the experience. Is what this is about. And again, what was the hardest part? Being judged, bro. And that's what keeps you from doing such things, is the judgment of others. When you finally take it off and you really don't wear their judgment, then you've really taken in Christ's presence. He promised that for us. He promised that we would no longer be judged for our sins, for our mistakes, for our shortcomings. He promised that he died, that we wouldn't be judged. And when you get to that point, bro, where their judgment isn't the final judgment and it actually means nothing, then you are free from this world, bro, and the way it thinks about you. When you no longer are persecuted by people's judgment upon your life and your decisions, you're free, bro. You're free. When it doesn't scare you what people are going to think, when you're not terrified of what people are going to say, you're free. But it's a long journey to freedom, bro, because you're feeling the judgment of everyone as you're trying to evolve. You look like you're completely not, you know what I mean? And that's what it is I lost pride, I lost respect, I lost everything. I lost everything of this world, but I gained everything of all the other worlds, and that's something that none of you can fake. You can pretend, but it's not real. You have none of the powers. And that goes back to, I don't know. Going back to the women of God, they probably have the visions. They have not been taught to walk in those powers of God. But going back to the popes and the priests, do you think they see the visions that I see? Do you think they could have told someone that they're pregnant? That they can see the weather coming? That they can see the Bible playing out? That they can see the things that I can see? No, because they're still working through their skin. They only see what their brain tells them. They haven't brought it to a higher consciousness. And that's beyond the church's teachings. That's how I knew I was in something much deeper than Christ. But then you go back to the story of Christ and how they knew that he was born. They saw the codes too, the rabbis. And that's Jewish mysticism, bro. All of the lands knew. Not the humans, but you know what I mean? They knew. They knew the miracles. They knew how to witness God's miracles in his language and the spirit and all things. And, there's mediums, people that see spirits all the time, dead people, if you will. There's, all different types of people that connect with spirituality, divinity and all. But the ultimate connection is just literally disconnecting. I didn't plan for this, you guys. I could have never. And that's what I kept saying is I would have never done this to my life consciously. I had to fight to do this, bro. I had to fight to take off my life and sit there in shame against be shamed by my peers, by my family, by the people I respected most. You have no idea what it means to strip yourself naked in front of the people you love the most and let them whip you. I literally took pictures of my stretch marks, dude, just to empower myself. They saw me, bro. They saw every dirty part of me. They know what people did to me inside and out. They know all my pain. They know all my shame. They know what they think they know what they can use against me. But those things, they witnessed as I was using those things to empower me. So nobody can disempower me with those things. But all the things that were, that kept me powerless in the life, they saw me, where. Down to Bobby. How shameful. Very shameful, you know. I didn't want to be that girl. But God wanted me to honor my heart and how it felt. It didn't matter what people thought. As long as I honored that, I was happy with that person. Very shameful. Very shameful. You know, and then going back to like Amanda and, you know, my family and friends, like he knew what, he would tell me to say the right thing that would make them kick me out of their life forever. He knew. He told me that morning, tell her no, only so that I could lose a friend forever. And be humiliated. God, she humiliated me when she kicked me out of her house. And Mr. Plum, too. He showed his true colors, bro. It's like he pretended to be such a great person, but he showed his true colors right there. He would, you know what I mean? God would push them to where they would show me how much I didn't mean to them. And those are harsh fucking lessons, bro. To have to face the real truth that nobody really cares about you. Nobody loves you, and you are all alone. It's a truth that all of us run from, and we do everything not to feel that way. It's a truth that killed everybody before me. All of my spirit guides, you know. Most of them, the 27 Club and most of them. The sooner you can realize that that we are just that without God, then the quicker you can get back to God. They only care when it's convenient. They don't truly know how to love you. It's all artificial and conditional. And you are really all alone. And that's where you realize in this awakening, bro, that you never were, you know what I mean? You really were always all those things. You just tried to hide it by keeping around the people. You know, my family really didn't care about me or love me, but I would still push myself around them like it mattered. My friends weren't my friends. My lovers didn't love me. These are hard truths, guys. I'm not saying your life is all fucked up as mine, but you're going to find some real hard truths in there about your relationships with people, about your behaviors, about how deeply desperate you are for companionship, to not feel those truths. But when you finally face those truths and you can walk in that truth that I am all alone, and nobody on this world gives a shit about me, and nobody in this world loves me, but you know what? I got God, and He loves me, and He is all I need. Then you're more powerful than you were to begin with. Because now you're living on the truth and not the lie. And I'm like, oh, they're my friends, they love me, they would always be there for me, they really care about me, and that's my family, and that's my husband, and that's my daughter, and that's how they really care about me. Nah, bro, you watch, dude. When you start changing, you watch how nobody really... Jesus Christ. When I fucking gave up my job and my pride, nobody wanted to be around me. There was no benefit to be around a person like me. When all I can give you is, you know, hope and shit? No, there's no benefit to that. I have no monetary value, so you don't value me as a person. Which, in essence, it's like it shouldn't be that way. I don't have to I don't have to pay for your love. I'm not Russ. I'm not doing that, bro. Love is given freely by the right kind of people, bro. The wrong ones are the ones that are going to make you pay for their love, and they're going to make you pay if you didn't love them right. That's not God. That's not how God works. So, yeah, I spent an hour and a half on that. I take you through it. It's not the beginning, it's not the end, it's just the journey. I took you, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back yesterday and catch my shadow spread. We do this every Friday. I teach you how to look at deeper aspects of your feelings. as I look at mine. We'll be doing this for the next at least 35 years. I know that for sure. 35 years we'll be doing at least this. Yeah. Ripping off the wounds. Yep. Pushing people into their darknesses and telling them how to get out of it. That's what I do. I'm the dark goddess, bro. But I'm doing it because God wants you. He wants you to go through this spiritual training with me. He wants you to, you know what I mean, this rite of passage. He wants you to get right. He wants you to pass through this fire and get right. Come back home. Get it right. Get it tight. Until then, we're stuck on Earth. Hey, I love you guys. Get you a good baptism. Light you a candle. Sit there and spend some time with God. He'll tell you what to think about. And if your own thoughts get in the way, deal with them first. You can't get to God until, you know, you're your own passage to God. You have to work through yourself to get to God. He's not outside of you. He's not in a church. You are the church. You harness God within you and all of the universe. Hey, I love yous. Laters. Bye-bye.